Yo, what is up guys? I'm here hitting you up with a new video. Firstly, thanks for the love and support on the recent videos. You guys really like these 3-minute character guides. Appreciate it. Also, if you're new to this channel, subscribe. I basically upload daily nowadays with the solo leveling Arise content. I really enjoy playing this game, so I feel like actually putting out a lot of content for the game and explaining certain mechanics and stuff like that. For today I have a different type of video. I wanted to let you know my thoughts about what needs to be fixed and changed for the global release of solo leveling Arise, what needs to happen to make this game successful. Also, this game hit now 10 million pre-registration, so it's in Netmarble's best interests to fix certain problems with the game to make it as successful as possible. First and foremost, we have gold. I mean, I know it, you know it, Netmarble knows it, everybody knows it. Gold is a huge issue in the game. I don't want to go any further than that because everybody knows at this point, really. Don't worry guys, Netmarble will find a solution for this. Either they increase our gold income by a ton and reduce certain costs of specific stuff, and also completely remove gold costs from removing gear and accessory, because that's complete bullshit. Real talk, they have to remove that shit from the game. But don't worry about that, they will definitely do something about it, because when global releases, if they don't make any adjustments to that situation, people will get mad, a lot of people will quit, and then the game will die slowly because of that. So that we have gold out of the way, there are a couple other things I wanted to discuss. I go to my inventory now, and based on that I will let you know what my complaints are with this game. It's mostly the resources. You do not get a lot of resources in the game. The biggest offender of resources right now, in my opinion, are weapon enhancement materials to upgrade your weapons. You get just so full. It's very hard to level up your weapons to make progress into the game further, upgrade, make yourself stronger, clear specific content, because you know the bosses get more tanky and you just have 3 minutes to clear the dungeons, and upgrading your weapons helps out a lot to clear specific content, right? So this one, they need to do something about the weapon enhance, but right now the way to get it right now is from gates, salvaging weapons. Salvaging weapons you can only do if you pull, otherwise it doesn't work. And from the mana crystal exchange shop, which I will talk in a minute. Then certain other stuff, for example the precision design. This one you need to upgrade your weapon from level, or to limit break them or advance them, however you want to call it, from level 60 to 80 and from 80 to 100. From 60 to 80 you need 1, and from 80 to 100 you need 3. Because of that, and you barely get any, you can only get them by doing purple dungeon break gates or from the weapon materials exchange shop, which isn't even worth it, because you don't it's not the blue, it's like the higher, the premium currency, something like that. To actually get those, it's quite rough to get precision design. Also you can get it from the Power of Destruction, which with a random drop rate, but these are very scarce, so it's also very hard to actually get those to upgrade your weapons. So that's why I focus mainly to get my weapons on level 80, because it just requires me 1 blue precision design instead of having 3, and I like having a variety of weapons. Also, literally everything is scarce. If you look, for example, the Hunter exclusive weapon design, this is something you can get from events. But if we look sometimes at these events we are doing, for example, dungeon exploration, you have to do instance dungeon, anchor mission, stuff like that. Also, there was like the gate thing, you had to clear gates to get advancement, but that was utter bullshit, by the way, because you were nowhere able to nearly get to complete this thing. You were around like 1000 points at the end of it, but nonetheless, with these events you have a chance of getting a ticket, I think that rotates every week or something like that. So if you can get it. But if I look at it further into the life cycle of the game, it's rather hard, because then you have like stuff like these Hunter Grove tournaments or something like that, where you get resources. And when this game is like, yo, you need to, I don't know, upgrade your hunters or something like that to get points. But let's say later down the line you actually upgrade all your hunters something. Yeah, how are you supposed not to gain points? It doesn't work, right? Because if in theory, let's assume you're maxed out. I mean, not like Ascension 5 stuff like that, but like you're like level 50 something. Every character or important characters are already at level 50. You don't feel like wasting resources on characters you're not using. Or you already upgraded weapons and you don't want to further upgrade the weapons, stuff like that, then you cannot get points. That means you cannot get, for example, this ticket here, which is, in my opinion, the most valuable resource during these events. And alternatively, to get these tickets, you can get them from the Battlefield of Time exchange shop. I highly recommend you, when you get your Battlefield of Time currency, which we will get tomorrow, by the way, again, primarily focus only these Hunter exclusive weapon design tickets, because they are so scarce. Don't bother too much with the tickets and with the Shadow Army stuff, but this is very scarce. So this shop resets monthly. Make sure to max out on these tickets first before you buy anything else. Hands down, the most important resource when it comes to the Battlefield of Time exchange shop. Then another reason I have a problem with are the artifact enhancement chips, the normal one and the other stuff you need to upgrade further your weapons, right? This one is also very scarce. You barely get any. Like at the beginning of the game, you play, you do your challenges, do the story mode, you get a lot, right? You get like 3,000, 4,000, whatever you have. But as soon as you start the grind, farming encore missions, you're doing instance dungeon, you start really upgrading your gear, not for Jinwoo, but for your other hunters as well. You will drain your artifact chips very fast. Very, very fast. And then you will have the issue where you basically running out of these chips all the time. And the only way to get these chips, besides doing a couple of dailies, but you don't get that much, just a little bit, is the Mana Crystal exchange shop. So for me personally, the only thing I buy from this shop right now are the artifact chips. That's the only thing I buy. I don't buy anything else. At the beginning, I bought the Anchor Mission keys and the Instance Dungeon keys because I felt like, okay, having 2 more keys allows me to get more gear, more accessory, which allows my gear income over a week, which gives me a higher probability of getting a gear piece I'm looking for to increase Jinwoo on my hunters, right? But later on, I noticed like I'm running low on artifact chips every single day. So I actually start buying, I'm buying these chips every day with the low tier mana crystals I get from mining and gates. And personally, there are 2 things I have as a recommendation is they need to reduce the cost of these artifact enhancement chips because they now increase it from 10 daily purchases to 30 daily purchases. They either needed to reduce the cost of the chips from 20 down to 10. That's the absolute minimum. Reduce it to 10. It would be even better if it's just 5 because you need so much from, you need so many of them. You need actually all of them to make sure that you're not running out while enhancing your gear. And also at the same time, you can max this one out. While also, for example, getting weapon enhancement gear stuff, you also need maybe advanced mana crystals because these you need, for example, if you need the 2nd tier of these artifact chips, you need to convert them, and to convert them, you need advanced mana crystals as well. Or maybe you want to get chips as well. But right now you don't even get enough to max out these artifact enhancement chips. And that's also where my next problem or recommendation comes up is these mining teams. So you can stack up to 40 mining teams, and what I find personally annoying is that you can only activate 3 at a time, and then you have to wait for, depending on what rank the gate is. For example, this one, it takes 3 hours. You have to wait till they are complete, get the rewards for them, resources from them, and then you have to activate another 3. And with like 15 gate keys or something, you have around 17 to 20 of these mining dungeons available. And what's quite annoying is you have to activate 3 of them. You log off the game, but you have to come back every 2 hours just to collect your mining team, just to put the other mining gates on time, so you get your mana crystals up, so that once the server resets, the daily reset comes, that you have mana crystals back up ready again to go back into the mana crystal exchange shop to buy your artifact chips. In my opinion, this needs to be changed, that you can activate all of your mining dungeons at the same time just to save up time. Like, I don't know what is the reason. Maybe the reasoning behind that is they want you to log in more often during the day to drive you to the shop to buy certain resources. That could be a possibility, but I feel like they could change that. Let us activate every single mining immediately, and then, you know, we log in once, collect everything, buy whatever we want from the mana crystal shop, respect our time a little bit more, and then we can move on with the next. The next one I want to discuss is the pot of blessing, which is also very, very scarce in the game right now, and the only 2 ways to get it is through Power of Destruction and Weapon Materials Exchange Shop. But you need the upgraded version. Like when you get purple equip, you have to you have to salvage purple gear at least to get the purple stone resources, so you can buy them, but it's just a full like 5 you can get for spending 40 of these purple stones. And the only other way is doing Power of Destruction. So for me right now personally, I'm lucky enough that I'm not on a Kraken server. My subserver is not a Kraken server. We are all fairly balanced right now, but I managed to get rank 1 consistently for the past like 5-6 days or so. And here the important rewards are these boxes. These boxes can give you SSR tickets, they can give you blue precision, and they can give you 6 powder. And both each the overall ranking and the division ranking. And the division ranking is important because that one gives you, if you get rank 1, you can get 15 powders. So for me right now, it's I get roughly around, like the average on powder I get per day is 20, based on getting rank 1, 15 from just the division, and from these boxes in the usual, like I luck out, get at least 1 times 6, so I have around 20 powder, and every 3 days I have enough powder to craft at least 1 blessing stones, to get new blessing stones, to maybe upgrade them, to get maybe purple ones, stuff like that. But for the average Joe, you will most likely be here in this area. Top 10, top 25, you get just 1, and you have like that 1 chance to get powder. 1 chance. If you're like super lucky, you can get 10 powder, but it will take a lot of time for you to actually get the powder. I would like to see more ways to get powder during this game, to be able to craft blessing stones. I know we are still in early access, but I feel like it's important to point these things out right now, to make people aware that there needs to be a solution made for specific stuff right now in the game, because otherwise later on it will be a way bigger problem to fix and will take time, and people will be annoyed and start quitting. So the earlier you address issues and the earlier you fix issues, the happier you make people, and it helps out the longevity of the game. So the next issue I have with the game right now is the combat power penalty. If you do not have the recommended power level for certain story modes, dungeon, whatever it is, you get a penalty. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments down below, let me know. But I think you get a penalty where you deal reduced damage to the enemy targets because you do not hit the minimum or recommended amount of CP. For example, this stupid bear chapter 10 hard mode, I'm trying to beat that. I hate these bears. I hate these bears, seriously. I'm trying to beat that for the last 3 days, but I can't. I'm lacking damage somewhere. I don't know what to do right now except for waiting and try again. But as you see, like with the current setup, actually it's a different, but nonetheless it really doesn't matter. But If you have less total power, you deal less damage. And this is an issue because there's no reason for you to get a penalty because you do not hit the recommended total power. There's only one reason why they're doing this, because they're, yeah, no, you need this for balancing purposes and stuff like, no. There's one simple reason why they're doing this, to penalize you for not hitting a recommended power. So you know your power level, you know what power level you need to be on the recommended level, so you don't get penalized for doing that specific dungeon. So they let you know how much extra combat power you need to do that or to clear that dungeon, right? So what they're trying to do is make you frustrated with certain chapters. Whatever you're trying to do, they're trying to make you frustrated, because if you're getting frustrated, they want you, it increases the chance of you going to the shop to look through the shop what resources you can buy from the shop to increase your combat power to be able to clear a dungeon. That is the only psychological reason they are doing this, and I feel like this needs to be removed. This completely needs to be removed. It's complete bullshit. I know what they're doing. I know Netmarble from Applied Lineage to Revolution back in the days. They were super greedy back in the days. I never touched any other Netmarble games. Like there was Tower of God release. I was like, oh, Tower of God. I read the manhwa of Tower of God. I'm interested. Then I saw like Netmarble and I was like, no, what? And because solo leveling is something I really enjoy, like I love the IP of solo leveling a lot. I read the manhwa. I finished reading the manhwa a couple of times, and just because I love it so much, I gave Netmarble a chance and see like how this game actually is. So that's why I actually picked up another Netmarble again. But based on my experience in the past, they have their ways to get you to go to the shop to buy stuff so they can make money. But this is one thing they need to remove. And last but not least, the one thing that annoys me personally the most, and whoever came up with the idea that you need shades to cast your shadow army should be fired from Netmarble. Whoever came up with the idea you need shades to cast your shadow army, this is the dumbest thing I have seen overall, because at the end of the day, casting your shadow army is basically just another skill in combat, right? There's no reason that you need an additional resource to cast them. And I speak from experience. Maybe a couple of you did not have the experience yet. Maybe a couple of you did experience it. There are times where you run out of your shades while trying to play the game, and you really for certain content, like doing power of destruction, time attacks, something like that, whatever you want to do, right? You need your shadow army to clear something faster, to deal more damage, or you're trying to clear a story chapter. But the shadow army, you need them to maybe get hit less, to deal that little bit extra damage you need to clear that dungeon in time. And then you have these shades, and once you have free shadow army, it consumes like 700 something every time you cast them. And having that extra requirement is so annoying, because I ran out of these shades a lot of times, and I couldn't do, like, I tried the specific dungeon or something, and I needed them to improve a time or get the clear, but I had no shades available anymore. And the only two ways for you to get the shades are either doing story mode, gates, or you're doing Encore mission or instance dungeons. And the thing is, with the story mode, cleared story chapters do not count anymore. Only story chapters you did not clear yet. And it doesn't matter if it's story, if it's gates, or if it's Encore mission or instance dungeon, the drop is random. You are not guaranteed to get these shades. And you don't know how frustrating it is when you have like free gate keys or something. You're just doing the gates because you need shades back to be able to cast your shadow army in combat, and you just don't get any shades. And then you're like, okay, what am I supposed to do now? Now I have to wait for the next day get my resources back, but you don't get the shades back. Then you still have to do gates again, dungeons again, and hope that you get your shades back so you're able to cast your shadow army again. So this is personally, the one that annoys me most right now is the shade system with the shadow army. They need to completely remove that. Like, there shouldn't be a requirement for you to be able to cast your shadow army, since at the end of the day, it's balanced anyways in a way that you can cast them a maximum up to 3 times in a battle, because you have a 60-second cooldown and they only last for 8 to 10 seconds on a battle. Why do we need that? And yeah, guys, thanks for watching. That sums up everything I wanted to know about stuff they need to fix in the future. I'm planning on making a Jinwoo, an ultimate Jinwoo guide on how to play him, how to upgrade him, what skills to use, like everything you need to know about Jinwoo, how to play and everything around him. Concise into one video so that you can watch it and know exactly what to do, especially with the global players coming around. I want to have that one video. When you click it or you watch it, there's everything in it, no additional questions to ask, but I still have to figure out how I want to like structure that video first. But nonetheless, guys, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Deuces.